I don't know how to start this video, but I'm just gonna say it. I hate when people really prolong their announcements, but I'm here to announce that I am going to be an author in a book called The Truth Behind the Filter. I'm going to give you some background context if you don't follow me on Instagram. I have just done a very long post on there as well. As part of my job, I do just want to disclaim as well, this video is not an ad. I don't get paid for the book. Like, all the proceeds from the book go to supporting young people who face barriers to employment, so we don't gain any profit from the book. It goes to other people. So if you don't know my job, basically I am a project executive. What that means is every time people are like, what on earth is that? And all I've been able to say is that I'm in charge of a project, or I help out with projects at my work. That's all I've been able to say, because this book project has been very, very secret. I started as a social media intern about over a year ago now. Like, I started in like December 2020 as a social media intern at an education consultancy called TG Consulting. And yeah, I worked in social media for about 6 months. I quite enjoyed it, but it got to a point where it wasn't really like challenging me anymore. I graduated uni, I was given the opportunity to become a project executive. When I was on social media, I worked on the first book, like they published last year. I worked on that Instagram, like promoting the first book. So due to my hard work of that, she was like, my boss was like, I want you to be basically in charge of book number 2. And she's like, and this time around I want 50 authors. So the first book was called You Are Limited Edition, which had 25 authors, students, graduates, or people who did apprenticeships, basically sharing their stories, overcoming obstacles such as mental health, maybe coming to terms with their sexuality, or being a person of colour. Like, lots of different things like that were explored, and people spoke about going to university or not going to university. I've literally got the book here because obviously that is what is my job. So this was the first book. So I said this had 25 authors, and now the second book has got 50 authors. So 50 students, graduates, young people, essentially, who have all shared their story, very unfiltered. And the second book is called The Truth Behind the Filter. I think the tagline is empowering student lived experiences. So yeah, essentially what we want to kind of promote is that you can come from sort of any background, let obstacles get in your way. Like, we obviously completely understand that there is barriers to people getting into university or getting into jobs and things like that. But yeah, we just want young people to read it who may feel a little bit lost, to kind of gain some clarity or just feel like they're not alone. So yeah, that's kind of what the book is about. And we got, so as I said, I have interviewed all the authors. I interviewed around 50 people, if not more, because some people dropped out. Not interviewed, but like I had little meetings with all the authors and like potential authors, which was a really nice experience, and that really increased my confidence. So yeah, I spoke to all the authors. I've been in charge of like the spreadsheet, like tracking people's progress, tracking the marketing, like working with the creative team. So Tarek has designed the second book cover. I will insert pictures and things. That I was interviewing authors and things like that. And actually, one of the authors I spoke to, because like I sort of shared my story slightly, she was like, oh, well, you're not writing in the book. And I'm like, well, I said, no, like, obviously I'm doing all the background stuff. Like, I don't need to write in it, sort of thing. She's like, oh no, but your story's like really interesting. And then like a week later, my boss was like, Kira, you know, you could write a story of this if you want to. I was like, oh my gosh. So obviously I jumped at the chance, because obviously a lot of what I post on social media is me being a university dropout and overcoming mental health. And yeah, when the opportunity came about, I was like, yes, I would love to write, because I do enjoy writing. Each chapter is literally 1,500 words, so the chapters are fairly short, so it's definitely a book you can get through quite quickly, even though there's like 50 separate chapters. Very lucky to be sponsored by Accenture, so they've been a huge help throughout the process. And our charitable partner is the Cowsey Foundation, which is an amazing charity. I'll leave links to all of these things down below. So the book is written in memory of Cal, who unfortunately lost his life to suicide. It's been great to have so many amazing organisations involved. So yeah, in my chapter I have spoken about me being a university dropout and how I felt through that process, and I've definitely gone into it in way more detail than I ever have before. And I also briefly touched on my parents' divorce, which is something I've never really spoken about on the internet. So if you want to find out more about that, I would recommend getting the book. But as I said, the book isn't all about me. There is 49 other people involved, and all their stories really range from dealing with things like grief or being a mature student or maybe having children whilst at university. So I just learned so much about people's experiences, just listening to all these people's stories, and I just feel so blessed that I've been involved in such a touching project, and all these people felt open enough to share these experiences with me and with the rest of the world, because this book is available worldwide. We'll leave a link down below for the pre-order link. You can pre-order it on Amazon, and you can also pre-order it through us as a company, so whatever you prefer. As I said, I don't earn any extra money if you buy the book. The company doesn't earn any extra money. I said all profits go towards supporting those who face barriers to employment. That's the book announcement. That is what has been my job for the past 6 months. As I said, it's been really hard. Like, people ask me, so what's your graduate job? And I'm like, I'm a project executive, but I can't say what I'm doing because, as I said, we weren't announcing it until January. But yeah, I just think it's mad that I'm literally 22 and I've written in a book. And the crazy thing is, when I was 14, I wrote in my scrapbook, I made a bucket list, and I wrote in that scrapbook, I would like to be an author. I'm gonna get it for you now. Okay, so this is my scrapbook from when I was 14. As you can see, I do not look like that now. I'm gonna find the page. This is so, I literally made it upside down. That's how chaotic I was. Anyway, so what number is it? So number 12, I literally write a book. Obviously I haven't written a whole book, but I have written it in a book, so that's pretty close to me. I mean, you probably can't read my horrendous writing. But yeah, I literally manifested it when I was 14. Like, how crazy is that? So yeah, that is it. As I said, you can pre-order the book now. It is in the link down below in the description. It'll be on my Instagram as well. But yeah, I just find it mad that little old me is going to be in a book, hopefully helping people who've been in the same position. It's definitely a book I could have benefited from when I was dropping out of university, or even when I was in like sixth form. I think that would have been a really good time to read it. So yeah, we do advise that you should be like 16 and over to read the book, just due to the nature of some of the things people have discussed. But there is trigger warnings, lines in the book if you struggle with any of the things mentioned. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube, following me on Instagram, or finding me on TikTok. Wherever you found me, thank you so much for the support. As I said, I probably wouldn't have the confidence to do it if I hadn't shared my experience online and received such a nice response. So yeah, thank you as well for all the support, and I can't wait to see the book in print. It's going to be crazy but exciting. Yeah, so the book is out on the 15th of March. I don't think I said that. So the 15th of March, it will be available to buy in shops and stuff, but you can pre-order it now. So yeah, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you soon. Bye.